Hello, and welcome to the channel. Here, we explore ancient ruins, museums, and other oddities around the world. Today, we're going to be checking out the Basilica Cistern in Istanbul, Turkey. We'll be sharing some thoughts and maybe a few ideas that go a little bit against the mainstream narrative. My uncle will be joining me on this journey. And so whether you're here for history, the beauty of it, looking for answers of untold possibilities, we invite you to come along and experience it with an open mind. Let's dive in.
About these cisterns, it's like they say they're cisterns to hold water, but they are all perfect round columns with beautiful bases, capitals, and I just can't see how you would go all ornate and make marble columns just to store water underground. Like, I just think it might have had a purpose. And look, the floor, you can see the square stones as if it had a tiled floor. Do you need to really, like, tile the floor all perfectly level if its first original intention was just to store water?
And then they brought the water from it doesn't refill from here.
No, there's an aqueduct that comes here and fills this full.
Hundreds of miles long.
Hundreds of miles long. There's a piece of it, if we have time, we can go walk to it. It's not too far. We can see a chunk of it still there, the aqueduct, coming into the city. And this place is massive. I can't even see the end of it. Am I looking in a mirror, or is that just open? Like fading off into the distance?
Fading into the distance. We're gonna walk over there.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine?
It's a lot of water would be stored down here.
This is not the only one in the city. There's many. There's at least 10 of them we can go see if we want to.
Sure. And then you think about how much water we store, like in a water tower.
Right. Like, the city of London does not store this much water.
Mind you, we do have technology.
I mean, we do have some big
go.
tanks and stuff like that, but like I'm talking in St. Mary's, we have our big water tower with the big ball, right? Well, that ball is no bigger than this little space we're standing in here.
Right. I don't know how to give it the justice of the magnitude.
Like, this would support millions of people, this amount of water.
Absolutely.
Would it not?
Yeah. This is if this whole thing is supposed to be full of water, it's
It was full of water at one time. You see the erosion on the columns and how they pitted? That's from sitting in water for a long, long time, thousands of years. And you get this. So they look rough.
No
but they
question
were.
it was submerged.
Yeah. This is incredible. See, I find this more interesting than Hagia Sophia, from my perspective.
This is amazing.
It gives you an idea. We can't even, can you imagine if this is a cistern, how beautifully they made this? How much more beautiful the actual buildings must have been on top of here if they put this much detail into this.
Into this, yes, absolutely.
Oh my goodness gracious me. Most columns are one piece. Some of them are in two pieces. But I would say, look at here, Zach. See the nub? Very strange. Very strange.
And like, why put all this ornate detail into the top?
Look at that capital.
Like what purpose?
Right? And that one,
You're
and
just,
that one.
it's easy enough to just put it on. You know, unless either you have the technology that it's so easy to do
Right.
that you're just okay. We'll make every other one or a bunch of the main support ones, beautiful like that, or it served another purpose to make it look that beautiful. Because to just store water, it serves no engineering
No.
effect.
No. I know. First I thought the capitals were all like. See how that one's uncarved?
Yeah.
And that one is carved beautifully. And those few are carved, but some are not. Some are, some are not. Interesting. All the pillars that are not carved at the top, most of them are halfway through. You see how it's cut in half, the pillar?
Mm-hmm.
The ones that have the ornate on the
Are
top,
one piece.
piece. See that one behind there?
Yeah.
2 pieces, not ornate top.
Absolutely. That's exactly what the pattern is.
Next one full piece, pattern on top. Next one, a piece and a half, not nice on top. And the next 3, all beautiful.
It's like they were redone or something.
Correct. This was rebuilt already once before as a cistern.
And they used to all be ornate.
Yes.
And then they didn't have the technology to do it in one piece
And they repaired it.
or do the ornate tops
Right.
anymore.
But you can already see how old that is
Right.
compared to. So, there is a higher chance this used to be a house or a temple. They call them temples today, a god's house. The outside walls in this whole thing are brick. It was bricked up later and filled in and buried. This was ground level once upon a time. Remember when we were walking there yesterday and saw the obelisk and how deep it is in the ground? The city's been raised, filled in. This used to be ground level. This was their house. Then, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. And then it got repurposed,
Look at the magnitude of these.
right?
Although they look like they're like concrete,
Concrete.
and they've been gone over to re-support. This is a reno.
This could have been
They
a-
couldn't rebuild the pillars, so they beefed it up with.
This could even be modern, where these were crumbling and they needed to
re-support it.
re-support it. So
And they,
concreted them over.
yeah.
So that's, I'm gonna say that's a brand new addition, correction, fix. Unbelievable. Look at the size of this place. Look at the size of this place. Look at the size
Just
of
keeps
this.
going.
Look at the size of this place. I had no idea. So you can see how this has been restored, and then they put this, it almost looks like brickwork ceiling structure on. But I bet you the original building that had the capitals with those, this is a replaced ceiling that whoever fixed all these columns again, they put the roof on, if that makes any
Right.
sense. Which is still a massive undertaking, which we couldn't even do today. Even just to put this old roof back on. At least I don't think so.
I'm not sure how we would.
Look at the big pieces, like beautifully carved columns. Look at that. They're perfectly round, ornate, too ornate to, this was never originally built as a cistern. It can't be. I believe this was a house of the gods once upon a time. But we're talking so long ago, Zachary, before they even tell you in this true history. I'm talking like pre-flood stuff, which happened 11, 12,000 years ago. So this was here before that. I honestly think the original structures could have been built 50,000, 100,000 years ago. I know that sounds insane, but how much time? And then restored in that time too, to these other things. We can see 2 restorations done here. Ancient, like
And it could have
phenomenally
It
ancient.
could have been the same civilization, having to do repair work on their own work, or could be
Maybe,
different.
but even different ones,
Yeah.
or their own, or different.
There's just a lot of different like quality of work here. Like
Do you think you're going to build beautiful, perfect, round, carved columns inside and then put a brick wall on the outside? No. So that is later, which incorporates the whole roof and everything. So that is later. They repurpose this many times. We can pause here. Whoa.
and look at the level of wear and tear, how old that
Right.
one is because it's had water in it. But like, and then look at some of these.
Right?
The
Some of
half
them.
ones don't have the pitting that the. Although that's a half one too.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand why some are smooth and some are pitted.
Like there's definitely different. Some have been underwater a lot longer than others.
Very possible.
You know, because they have these like rings, and I don't know if that's
I don't
2
know.
pieces. It's the
It's a
same
funny
on all.
ring,
Maybe
right?
they came from the same stone set.
Oh, water level.
Yeah, water levels.
See how that mark on every
Every
pillar,
pillar? Yeah.
same level, the whole building.
Yeah.
So that's when they found this place. That's where the natural water level sat for many, 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 many long time, and created that ring line. You see that? It's about this.
Yeah.
It's about 5, 8
on
centimeters
every
high,
pillar.
every pillar. So that's just a water line.
Watermark. So then you have these single pillars, I
Right.
think, that still don't have the ornate tops.
No.
But we have single pillars with ornate tops. Then
Right.
you have 2 pillars without.
Well-
then you have pitted pillars and smooth pillars.
If it all got destroyed, they did put it back together. So sometimes they may have done this or that. But in the general rule is, if the column's broken, it's not an ornate top. Generally, we're
Right.
noticing.
Just
Not 100%, but
There's
it all depends. I think it was there and it literally got destroyed, and they rebuilt it back up. Some of the columns fell over. They put it back up. They put new tops back on. The earth has been blown up many, many times. The ancients blew up the earth. I know that sounds awful, but it's been written.
look at the base.
Look at this space. And a wobbly column. Something's been reworked here, or this is newer. It sort of looks a little bit out of place.
It does. It doesn't match. And
Times
it's a lot,
2.
And it's a lot smaller in
And it's
diameter.
smaller in diameter. That's why I'm wondering if they, I don't know. It almost looks like there might be an inscription on there, but I don't see anything. Oh. I'll make note. I won't comment on that yet. Wow. 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 Oh. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Maybe I was. Theodosius Cistern. His name was Theodosius Cistern. Here was closed. It was closed. It was under restoration.
Look at that.
This one is the one. Sorry. This one is the one where the head of Medusa is standing fighting.
So, just to solidify and prove our point, that block ahead there obviously has been repurposed to put there. They never would have originally carved a head, stuck it sideways, and put it as the base of a pillar. So that's a piece left over from the city the magnificent city that used to be before they restored it to here. See, this is a restored column compared to the other ones that have the ornate tops. And in the restoration, they plunked this there.
Was scared of his own sculpture. You mean sculpture that has turned into the stone.
How magnificent.
First of it is really, give me 1 second, please. You see the shadow? But that is also modern. It was put here as sculpture another time here. 3 years ago.
Why not do it twice? Oh my goodness.
Upside down.
Snakes in the hair, snakes down the side, face, upside down. Which suggests this base was probably repurposed from something else. We saw so ornate, it found it, chunked it on top of here too. Put a column on here. But they were just leftover pieces from the previous city.
Went over here.
That is a beautiful piece. What kind of whole structure and building must have been there to support that face on it?
Just tell me the lie right now.
Merhaba, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Okay.
You're doing a great job. I can hear you explaining.
They're pushing me on telling everything, so I normally feel bored when I do it. They don't leave me alone. They say, tell us everything.
Tell us.
Tell us everything.
Yeah, hound everything out of him. He knows. I wanted to show you here too. See, all the columns were numbered. See that lettering on there? So, but it's not original lettering. So when they repurposed it, okay, this column goes here, blah 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 blah.
Because they didn't want to forget which one went where.
What goes where?
Right.
I know the other cistern has more of that. We may even see more of that here. Just some numbering on there. But again, that was just later restoration work done and coordinating the pieces.
This is a good example of showing the sheer, circumference difference,
right?
Of some of the later repair work.
Right?
They couldn't build it and move it to the same size. Otherwise, why wouldn't you rebuild it to spec?
Well, they never rebuilt. So the rebuilders didn't remake anything. They just found pieces and repurposed them, if that makes any sense.
Make them fit.
Right? Make them fit.
But they couldn't do
Okay,
it
this
to
isn't
spec.
quite a column, but it's going to work, so we put it in here.
Right. Because it's not round.
It's not round. So it's hard to imagine that this whole place has been rebuilt multiple times already in its ancientness. Right? I think it's quite something.
Some square
repurpose, even a square column. I'm guessing most of the columns were originally here, or when they got here, they were broken, and so then they figured out ways to put it all back together. But still, the purpose to put it all back together means they needed it again or wanted it again.
Mm-hmm.
Just to redo all this twice, 3 times. Fascinating. Okay, this is disturbing.
This is a big one, I can tell.
Wow.
When I saw it from the other side of the room, I knew.
Wow. The beauty of the carvings, right? And what's so special about these carvings is they stick out of the column. It's very easy to carve into something to engrave it. But to have a protruding engraving, that's master skill. Like, you can't just put this thing on a big lathe and make it round. Fascinating. I've never seen this pattern before, ever. I've never seen that pattern before. That's the most spectacular column in here. So, if this was a cistern and they had their houses and their palaces, this was a column from their palace, if that makes sense. But they repurposed it down here. That's something else. That is a unique design. It's like a teardrop upside down. I've never seen that before. Have you ever seen that symbolism, that pattern? Wow. Wow. This gives us a slight glimpse into the magnificence that this city used to be.
But this is my favorite piece in the whole
Mine
so
too.
far.
And that head,
Not saying there won't be something else ahead because I don't know, but that and the head are just
right?
immaculate.
Just spectacular. This is quite something. I wasn't expecting it to be so big. I wasn't expecting it to be rebuilt so many times under here. I was expecting all of this to be original.
Right.
And we can see it's been rebuilt. In antiquity, it was rebuilt. How many columns would you say are in this room?
Oh, hundreds.
Right? Hundreds. 500?
Hundreds.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. There's at least hundreds.
And
Hundreds.
there's some of it that they're hiding something, or that it's under just in total disrepair. But
Who knows, right?
obviously, it can't be in so disrepair that it's not holding up the city. So, you
How
know, it
old
makes
is
you-
that wall?
it makes
That's
you-
the question, right?
Right. Just
I don't think
seems
it's that old.
interesting that they're hiding 10% of this building.
There is a possibility they're hiding something behind there. There is a possibility.
Just throwing that out there.
Just throwing it out
Not
there, right?
saying that's the case, but it sure seems.
Sure seems suspicious.
And that to me is one of the more interesting things in here, just because why 10%? Like, and it's not a structural issue.
No, it's not a
So-
structural issue.
Because otherwise, so I don't know. Just find that interesting.
But the wall looks, yeah, it could be new. It could be within the 100 years. It could be. It's hard to say.
It could be.
I remember when I was doing my Google searching, how many cisterns, and I gave up and pinning them all down. I thought there was like 5 or 7 of these, like all around here. I mean, honestly, this one here, just full of water, would serve all of Istanbul today. Would you not think so?
I mean, I know it's a highly populated city, but this is a lot of water.
This is a lot of water. And it's not the only one. So that's why I don't think originally, when it was first made, it was not a cistern. It was a dwelling place of the gods. Yep. But that's a history that, 99% of the world, if I told to, would say that's not the truth. It'll all come out in time. It'll all come out in time. They'll tell you if we went up to the front, oh yeah, this was made whatever 2,000 years ago, and they hand carved it, and it was made as a cistern just like this, right from the start, the beginning, intentional. But it's so obvious it's not.
It's magnificent.
It's magnificent. It's magnificent. Look at the big nub on that pole, like halfway down. And this one here has a nub too, 2 down.
Yeah.
The most ancient things, the most ancient rocks all over the world, Egypt, Peru, Japan, have these nubs sticking out randomly out of rocks. Like they're a perfect round column and then they got a nub sticking out. That makes no sense. No sense in the world. Like if there's a hole in it, you'd say somebody carved a hole in it later. But have a perfect round column with a nub sticking out? How do you even make that?
It makes you wonder what the purpose was. Almost like because they were so perfectly round, they needed a way to stop them from rolling away when they were laying down or something. I don't know.
Right?
Because they are that perfect.
That one has a nub,
2 nubs. Look up.
2 nubs.
But there's no.
That
rhyme.
one has a nub.
Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
No. This one has, well, I don't know if it's a nub or some effect, but there is no rhyme or reason to it. They're in random looking places, and you think you're going so artistically to make a perfect round column. Why would you leave a nub sticking out the side of it randomly? Like unpurposely.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
At Hagia Sophia, when we were up there looking at the columns, and I pointed out some nubs sticking out there. And remember how the columns there were also wobbly and things like that too? So those columns had been repurposed from something else. Just like we're seeing the repurposed.
We see that
work
they're not shy about repurposing what they find.
Well, why would you be shy? If you came here and everything was abandoned and you found this, well, let's start here.
And then you end up with massive.
Look at that. Look at that nub sticking out. Right? You would conclude to get a perfectly round column like this, somehow they must have got the stone on a lathe. Right? To spin it round, right?
Yeah.
And yet to have a nub sticking out of something that you've spun round on a lathe, like, it can't be done.
Not in any way that I can think of.
Unbelievable.
Whole constructions, the renovations. This
Yeah.
and even those are old here. And then you go to the perfect ones, and you get like an ornate pillar like that, and you just go,
Right?
wow,
Right?
how,
How?
and to this magnitude. And you're right, to carve this out underground and have no issues. Like, this was not buried to start.
No.
There's no way you could build this by digging underground and build it as you go. This was open, and they built, and then it
Yes.
got
Filled in. You can see the walls. The outside walls look, I mean, they're not new. They're probably thousands of years old.
Right, but the roof and the walls are not old. Not really.
They're not ancient, but they're still very, very, very old. And still, I don't know how they put that roof all on in the olden days. Do you know how much work that would have taken? All the scaffolding you'd have to put up to, I don't know. Magnificent.
It's quite something.
Right?
The magnitude of this is quite something.
That's one thing I didn't hear on any videos when I was watching. It's just how massive this building, this space is, and how big this room is.
Can't even begin to calculate the square footage. It's too big to almost like perception. I couldn't even tell
By eye
you.
perception, you can't even figure it out.
I couldn't even tell you how far it's a rectangular building. It's a rectangular structured area, and
Right.
I could not tell you how far. I couldn't even make an educated guess. I would be wrong.
Right? Well, from here to that wall that they put in later, that's at least 300 feet, and it was probably another 300 feet past that.
And it's
at least 500.
wide. I don't know.
Something like that.
It's
And how high? I would say we are 10, 20, 30, 40, 35, 40 feet? 30 to 40 feet?
30 feet high, maybe.
30 feet? And we're not even on ground level.
No. We're 2
5
feet.
feet off the ground?
No.
3 feet? 2 feet?
2 feet, off the ground. Depending on where you're,
2 feet off the ground?
This is magnificent.
Okay, this was worth seeing. This was worth seeing. I honestly thought we were going to come down and see something like that. The idea that Earth is a game. All is energy, Earth is a game, and Earth has been reset many times. Wipe everything out, a new game. They play, things go off track, they wipe out everything on Earth, and they start a new game. And I know that sounds crazy. I'm here to find if that is true. But it's interesting when you see in here, I can tell you that the restoration of this room was already the previous reset to this game that we're playing. And yet, that previous reset, you can tell they reset from a previous game with the ornate columns that are so beautiful. That was one game. It got wiped out. A new reset, a new game, and that's where you can see they reconstructed this and repurposed this room. That game got wiped out, and we're on another game reset here now in this present day. Seriously. We will see evidence of this as we travel through Turkey. But I'm not preaching it as the truth yet, but more of, let's see the evidence to point to this if it is true.
If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed touring the Basilica Cistern in Istanbul, Turkey with us. I hope you found something new to think about along the way, and if you didn't, I hope you enjoyed the view. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to join us on other tours of ancient sites and museums around the world. Drop a comment if you have your own take on the Basilica Cistern or any other interesting insights about it, and we'll see you on the next video. Until then, stay curious.